All right, let's do this. Lesson 6.ee.2c. Learning target. I can evaluate expressions using the order of operations. Okay, so your vocabulary term today is order of operations. That means the rules for calculating an expression that has more than one operation. When I say more than one operation, I mean that it either adds, subtracts, multiplies, or divides more than once. So here's your notes. To evaluate an expression, if it's a word expression, translate it into a numerical expression. Write it using numbers and variables instead of words. Step 2. If it's an algebraic expression, substitute the correct number for the variable. So if it says something like evaluate 2x plus 3, you need to figure out what x is and replace it. So if x equals 7, there you would have 2 times 7 plus 3, and you would evaluate that. Just replace the variable with a number. After you have a numerical expression, you're going to follow the order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally to evaluate the expression. Remember, the P in the order of in PEMDAS, P in PEMDAS stands for parentheses. That's the please. E is for excuse. E stands for exponents. M and D mean you multiply or divide, whichever comes first, from left to right. The A and the S stand for add or subtract, whichever comes first, from left to right. So those letters all put together make PEMDAS, which we remember by saying please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And I know I was supposed to capitalize aunt, but that's okay. I was just testing you. All right, so let's try out some problems. Here's an example. I need to evaluate 2 plus 3 times 5 minus 2 to the second power. So, remind myself, please excuse my dear, those go together, Aunt Sally, those go together. Because remember, you don't have to multiply before you divide, it's whichever comes first. You don't have to add before you subtract, it depends on which comes first. Okay, so parentheses. There's nothing to do in the parentheses in this problem. Those parentheses just mean you're going to multiply 3 times 5 at some point. So I've done the parentheses. Exponents, there is an exponent. So I'm going to evaluate 2 to the second power. 2 to the second power is 4. So this is going to become 2 plus 3 times 5 minus 4. Next I'm going to multiply or divide. There is multiplication right here. 3 times 5 is 15. So now I have 2 plus 15 minus 4. And lastly, I'm going to add or subtract from left to right. So I'm going to start at the left. 2 plus 15 is 17. And 17 minus 4 equals the final answer of 13. There it is. Okay. Next example. Both of these examples should be in your notes. 6x squared minus 3x plus 4 if the x equals 3. So I'm going to first substitute 3 where there are x's. So I'm going to rewrite this as 6 times 3 to the second power minus 3 times 3 plus 4. So that is the numerical expression. Then I'm going to go follow the order of operations. First thing I do is the exponents. 3 to the second power is 9. So I have 6 times 9 minus 3 times 3 plus 4. I'm going to put it up here. The next thing I would do is multiply from left to right. So 6 times 9 is 54, minus 3 times 3 plus 4. Next I would multiply again. 3 times 3 is 9, so I get 54 minus 9 plus 4. Now I'm going to go left to right because adding and subtracting is all that's left. 54 minus 9 is 45, plus 4 equals a final answer of 49. All right, so some extra examples that you don't have to put in your notes. Here we go. Stephanie has 2.5 feet of ribbon. Edward has 0.75 feet of ribbon. Abby has 5 times the amount of ribbon that Stephanie has. Write the expression that finds the difference between Abby's amount of ribbon and Edward's amount of ribbon. Oh, that's a tough problem. Okay, so Abby's amount of ribbon. How much does Abby have? She has 5 times the amount that Stephanie has. So how much does Stephanie have? Stephanie has 2.5 feet of ribbon. Okay, so Abby has 5 times the amount that Stephanie has. So Abby has 5 times 2.5. Write the expression that finds the difference between Abby's amount of ribbon and Edward's amount of ribbon. Okay, well Abby has more, so to find the difference, that means subtract. So it's going to be 5 times 2.5 minus 2.5. And that will give us our final answer. Okay? Seems to make sense. Next problem. Evaluate the expression s squared plus b squared if s equals 4 and b equals 6. So just replace the variables. Write it down. S squared, not in this case, but if I was doing this problem, I would write it down. S squared becomes 4 squared plus b squared becomes 6 squared. Now I'm going to evaluate the exponents first. So 4 squared is 16. 6 squared is 36. Those add up to 52. There's a correct answer. All right. Last extra example. Allison has 16 brownies. Olivia has 8 brownies. Ian has 4 times the amount Olivia has. Which statements are true about the number of brownies Allison and Ian have together? Ian, I'd forgotten how much Ian has. Ian has 4 times the amount Olivia has. All right. So I'm going to start by writing down what each person has. Okay, so Allison has 16 brownies. Olivia has 8 brownies. Ian has 4 times the amount that Olivia has. So he has 4 times 8. Okay. So which statements are true about the number of brownies Allison and Ian have? Well, Allison and Ian. Well, they have 16, that's what Allison has, plus 4 times 8, that's what Ian has. All right, 16 plus 4 times 8. Well, this does not equal 16 plus 4 times 8. I could actually add these up. So it's going to be 16 plus 32. It's going to equal 48 altogether. This one right here equals 28. It's not going to be that. 16 times 4 plus 8, that is 64 plus 8, that's 72. Not going to be that. 16 plus 4 times 8, that's exactly what I had written here. It's going to be that. 16 minus 4 times 8, no, that's subtracting. That's not how much they'd have together. So, we found our correct answer. All right, time for your quick check. Evaluate this expression and prove to your teacher that you know how to evaluate expressions. Good luck.